Hey folks, welcome back to the Portable Gamer. Welcome back to Train Sim World 2020. And welcome to the Canadian National Oakville Subdivision Hamilton Oakville Route add-on DLC. I feel like Train Sim World isn't making their names long enough for their DLC. Comes with two locos. One of them is the GP9rm. That's this lovely rig right here. We're going to hop in and get started. Steps, and they have added, there's a little bit of an animation there to go up the steps. Is there not? It's new. I feel like that's new within the last couple of updates. Right, so we'll go over here. We are on mouse and keyboard, so the camera movements are going to be a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Right, so before we do this, before we do anything, let's take a look at the map. And from what I've read so far, in the DLC's only been out for a few hours, but from what I've read so far in the comments, this is all about yard work. And look at this yard that we're in. That is pretty big. And then if you look further down, there's another kind of yard here, right? But look at this, all the way down at the other end, all the way down south on the map. Look at this. This is crazy. And all these little, oh, there goes my voice. All these little tracks and terminuses, termini. Oh, all these little sidings, all of these apparently have like living businesses, and a lot of the projects and timetables and various other things involve going out here and picking things up and dropping things off. So yeah, this route is absolutely all about yard work. Very cool. Very cool. So now we hop back in here. And what is it that you want us to do? Insert the reverser handle. Can do. That is in. Set the reverser to forward. You got it. Set the engine run, generator field, and control and fuel pump to on. And I noticed when I was sort of doing a trial run on this before that these switches are already up. It's only the generator field that we need to move up. That is, it's not a big deal in the grand scheme of things, and they'll probably fix it in a patch like next week or so. Right, to start off today, head over to the manufacturing plant to collect the first cut of auto rack cars. You got it. Set the automatic brake to release. Throttle up to get moving. While the train is being propelled to the next location, be aware of any further switches that may need setting. All right. So we come down here, and that one. That one's good. That one. These all look good. All right, down here. That one. That one. That one. That one is good. And that one. Okay. So we are rolling. And while that is going on, I'm going to read to you from the Steam page for this DLC. Right, here's the hook. Here's the tagline. Experience bustling freight yards, heavy industry, and classic motive power set upon stunning Lake Ontario territory with Train Sim World Canadian National Oakville Subdivision. That's fantastic. And then a little further down. Oh, hang on. Bump the throttle down. 24 miles, or 41 kilometers, of the Oakville Subdivision between Hamilton and Oakville. Includes numerous industries with miles of extensive rail yards, as you saw. The GP9rm diesel locomotive in Canadian National livery. The GP38-2 diesel locomotive in Canadian National livery. You get a 3-bay covered hopper. You get a bi-level auto rack car. You get a DOT.117 tank car, and you get a 73-foot center beam car. So 2 locos, 4 pieces of rolling stock. And now the other thing that's really amazing about this, check this out. Look how big this yard is. Look how big and like comprehensive this yard is. And if you've been a part of this game from the beginning, if you remember If you remember CSX Heavy Haul, you remember what an absolute FPS pig that game was. And I feel like Dovetail has really been working to optimize the game. I know there are some inefficiencies in CPU usage, cores, threading, etc. I don't know if they're ever going to address that fully, but I feel like they're trying to do something to address it. Now, what I'll have to do is when I'm done recording this, I will hop back in CSX because there was a big update to the game recently. I'll go back and check CSX Heavy Haul because that's sort of the benchmark for the sim, because that was the, I guess, the roughest as far as FPS was concerned. And we'll see if the improvements that we're seeing, like in this DLC, is that specific to this DLC and the way they're using models and assets, or is it the entire sim? Hopefully it's the entire sim. Now I am seeing, we've got a draw circle. I'd estimate it's probably 150 meters of, estimate. And if you look out beyond that, you can see things are a little squared off. It's a reduction in detail to reduce the number of polys that are being rendered. It's a trade-off, that all developers have to make. If you want the game to render perfectly all the way out to the far horizon, you're going to need some kind of machine to run it on. So compromises need to be made. You trade away a little bit of detail for some FPS. I'll take the FPS. I mean, I do want the game to look good. I do want detail. But ultimately, the things that I'm looking at in the foreground, if they look good and we can maintain that 60 FPS, then the game is going to play smoothly. And for me, a game that plays smoothly is, for me, it's really critical to immersion. So secure the trade. Set the automatic brake to handle off. Can do. There we go. Set the brake cutout valve to cut out. That is right there. Set the MU2A valve to trail 6 or 26. All right, and that is, it's right down there, but it's on the far side of my armrest. So I think we're going to need to go over here. And there's no, as far as I know, there's no crouch in this game. There it is. 6 or 26. All right, come back over here. Sit back down, reverse her to neutral, and remove the handle. There we go. 21 meters, climb aboard. That's the other end of the train. Sorry, the other end of the loco set. I know. There are people that like this game that are really into trains. They would not tolerate a mistake like that, so I will clarify. Right, come over here. Right up here. And in. Now this is the Maple Leaf motoring scenario. We're not going to do the whole thing because it's 60 minutes. I just wanted to give you an idea of what the DLC looks like. Right. Insert the reverser handle. Right. Set the reverser to forward. Done. Set the brake cutout valve to freight. Done. Engine run, generator field, and control fuel pump to on. We just need this middle one right there. Set the automatic brake to release. Done. Throttle up and get moving. You got it. Go via location. Oakville Yard. Where is that? Where is that? All right. And are we good? We are not. Now we are. Okay. So we're headed back down the hill. And we're not going to need a lot of throttle because we do have that descent coming up. 2% grade. It's not very long. It's just on the far side of this little bridge here. And as far as the GP9rm, it's based on the EMD GP9, which was made by General Motors Electric Motive Division, EMD. Between 1954 and 1963, 4,112 were produced. They weren't all the GP9rm. The 9RM, I guess, is a variant on that. Let me see. 56 feet, 2 inches long. 40-foot wheelbase. Height of 15 feet and 1/2 inches. A width of 10 feet, 3.5 inches. Oh, hang on. Carefully. Just a touch of brakes. Let me see. Loco weight, 259,500 pounds, 117,700 kilograms. Fuel capacity of 1,100 US or 4,200 liters. Touch of brakes. There we go. The prime mover is an EMD 567C. The engine type is a V16 two-stroke diesel, 835 RPM maximum, and it is running a Roots supercharger. Displacement of 9,000 cubic inches, or 148 liters. The generator unit is an EMD D-12-B. 4-traction motors, they are the EMD D-37-B. Maximum speed of 65 miles per hour. Power output of 1,750 horsepower, or 1.30 megawatts. And the tractive effort is 64,750 pound-feet, or 288 kilonewtons. And looking around this cab, if this train was made from 54 to 63, it said, this is fairly modern in here. So as they do with a lot of commercial jets, you know, they freshen it up every couple of years. They add some new technology to it. The framework is good. It just needs to be kept contemporary. And it looks like that's what they're doing here. So throw this one. That one's good. That one's good. That's good. And we're stopping right there. Okay. So yeah, I'm going to go on and on about this, but I am amazed at the frame rate. Yeah, this is incredible. It really is. And when we go here, that's all real track. Those aren't decorative items or static scenery items. Like, that's real stuff. We could go hook up to those cuts. And yeah, very, very impressive. And the game is playing super smooth as well. I haven't seen any tiles loading yet. Nothing like that. Good stuff, right? So let's start slowing down a little bit. Go right back here. Try to carefully pivot around here. Oh, this is fantastic. Yeah, I'm nothing but impressed with the last few DLC. I mean, 2 in a week. Because there was one on the 13th and one on the 20th. 2 in a week, you know. Maybe they could space that out a little bit more, but you know what? They got to do what they got to do too. Right. So we're going to stop right up here. And then I imagine we're going to back up into one of these sidings and pick up another cut. All right. What am I hearing? Oh, there you go. Oh, and even that. That was something else in some of the earlier DLC and in base game, that if anything else was moving on screen, it would just absolutely tank your frame rate. That seems to not be the case anymore. All right, that's all good. So now we will go to reverse. All right, brakes off. Throttle up. Let's get backed up here. There we are. And something I can tell you, well, I mean, we can only be going to that one on the left of all these cuts here. It's to our right, but it's the leftmost cut. Something else I can tell you, when you're hooking up, I'm not sure how it calculates that distance, but it is not necessarily the distance between the two couplers that are going to make contact. It's some other number. I have no idea where it's generated, whether it's the back of the unit that you're in, or the back of the, in this case, we've got 2 power units. Oh, but just be mindful of that number when you're hooking up, because it'll fool you. It's fooled me a couple times. You think you've got 100 meters to go, and then you realize, no, it's more like 15, and you got to grab the brakes right quick. Right. So, coupled to formation. Yeah, you can see, like right there, it's saying 300 plus meters. That's not 300 meters. Not a big deal, as long as you're aware of it. As long as you're aware of it. So we will, where are we at? We're at 15 minutes. Let's put together another couple of these. I imagine that's what it's going to have us do, is just build a train. So we'll put together a couple more of these and then call it. But I definitely wanted to give you an idea of what the sim is about, what the DLC rather is about, what it looks like. All right. There we are. So we can hop back here. Oh, okay. Or, or I'm wrong. We're going 10 miles into Burlington. Okay. Check some switches here. Like so. I mean, yep, it's got to be that one. Okay. So we'll go here. And then that one's good. That one is that good? That one is good. That one's good. Good. Right there. That one. Put us over there. That one. That one. That one. Golly. And that one. Okay. So now we're going to hop back here. We're going to go back to forward. If we're heading that far, let's set ourselves up for a little bit more. I don't need step lights. I do want gauge lights. Yep. And then we also want our number lights. How's that look from the outside? That looks proper. Oh, that's very nice. Very nice. Okay. So we hop back in here. We're going to go brakes off. All right. Good there. We're in gear. In gear. The reverser is set to forward. When I say in gear, that's what I'm getting at. And again, I know there's some like super rail fans out there. They would not tolerate that sort of a misstatement. So we'll clarify. And I think, yeah, let's get up to, let's get out of the yard. Let's get up to a decent speed. And then we'll call it. Man, I have to take a look out here again. Yeah. Looking out at all those bi-level cars, we're still at 60 plus FPS. That is crazy. What an improvement, man. Really nice job on the part of Dovetail. And we've got, yeah, another quarter mile or so will be up to 60 miles an hour. Well, our speed limit will be 60. It'll take a little bit longer than that to get going that fast. But yeah, let's get it up to speed and then we'll call it. Yeah, nice use of models. I imagine everything in the distance is either rendered at a lower resolution, or those may be specific distant models that are built from the ground up to be low poly. Yeah, this is really, really looking nice. Oh, and you know what? There's something else. Yeah, something that I've noticed in, I guess, in previous iterations of the game or before the latest patch or update or what have you. The draw distance out the front could be a little abrupt, but this is looking a lot smoother. I mean, I can still see the draw distance if I look for it, but it seems to be that they've blended the various draw distances. They've blended them together a little bit more smoothly, so it's not quite as noticeable. I like it. I like it. Okay. Passing out of there. And obviously we'll need to wait till the end of our train crosses into that higher speed limit, but then we'll bump up the throttle and let her buck. Yeah, very cool. Now this panel down here, I haven't seen this on any US locos, And if you look out here, up above the train numbers, you can see those 3 lights on each side. I believe those are some type of designation, right? So that yardmaster or controller would be able to visually see, I don't know, something about the train. Some kind of information is being conveyed by those lights. I have them off right now because I don't know what they mean. And yeah, what else do we got? Yeah, it's just a regular, looks like a General Electric GP loco to me, like we have on CSX Heavy Haul. I believe there are a couple of those added to the NEC route and also the UP loco on the Peninsula Corridor. I think those are all General Electric GP locos. Right, here we go. Throttle up. Great sound palette in this game as well. That's a different kind of ammeter, torque meter. Haven't seen one like that before. Also, ooh, whoa, what just happened there? All right, it's coming back. I don't know if that was wheel slip or some kind of, not sure what happened there. Okay. I'm also, I'm interested in this minutes non-accumulative up in the red zone there. Minutes non-accumulative. I would guess that if you look at the, just as it crosses over to the red line, we've got a 60. I would guess that's 60 minutes you can operate at that amount of torque, right? But it's non-accumulative, so if you back it down into the green, does that mean you can immediately go back up in there, right? Because I know, like the supercharger on a P51 has a certain amount of time that you can max it out, and it doesn't reset. So if you've got 15 minutes of max supercharger, and you run it that way for 5, you've got 10 left. It's not like you can back the supercharger off and then it resets and you got another 15. So I'm curious about that. I'll have to check that offline. But yeah, let's. We're getting wound up here as far as speed. So let's hop out here. Let's turn this off. And let's call it. Yeah. Folks, thanks for stopping back to check out the Portable Gamer. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Train Sim World 2020. This is the Canadian National Oakville Subdivision add-on DLC. We'll see you next time. Take care now.